Today's episode of Goalie Training Pro TV is for adult goalies. Whether you're a beginner adult goalie or a goalie coming back to the position, a completely new position after 10 or 15 years off, here are the essential exercises that are going to help you get into the butterfly faster, get out of the butterfly faster, move post to post faster, maybe stop you from falling down quite so much. Welcome back to Goalie Training Pro TV. Maria Mountain here. I am an exercise physiologist and I specialize in off-ice training for hockey goalies. And you've probably noticed as you get on the ice as an adult goalie that your body doesn't move the way it used to when you were 17 years old. But we can sometimes just tend to say, oh, well, that's because I'm whatever age I am. But it's not. A big part of it is just lack of preparation. So that's what we're going to work on today. Getting you ready to do the things you need to do to goalie. I work with a lot of adult goalies, and a lot of the adult goalies in the game-winning goalie formula, they love to see the results on the ice and to feel the results on the ice. They especially love it when the college players come home for their vacation or their holidays and the beer league goalie, is able to shut them down shot after shot, even on breakaways. And that's what happens when you prepare. Some of the goalies actually are a little bit mad because they didn't have access to this kind of training when they were younger, and they can't help but think, oh, what if I only had access to this kind of stuff when I was, in my teenage years? We can't back up. We can't set the flux capacitor back to 1988, but we can start now and make you a better goalie.
The flux capacitor.
And today we're going to start with just the essentials. So I'm going to give you some exercises that you can use as part of your off-ice training routine. This isn't really set up as a workout per se. It's more, hey, these are some of the exercises you should be including in your off-ice training. Let's start off by getting those hips moving. We're going to start with your trusty old 90-90 hip stretch. So call it 90-90 because we're going to make a 90-degree angle here. We're going to make a 90-degree angle here, and we're going to make a 90-degree angle here. So it really should be 90-90-90, but that's a little wordy. We're just going to call it 90-90. So make sure those angles are right, because if this knee is bent in like this, that actually changes what you're stretching and how it impacts your hip mobility. So keep that 90-90 angle. You can have your hands on the floor, stay up nice and tall in your chest, and then just pivot forward, coming out. So I almost think of bringing my chest forward out over that front leg. I'm not trying to touch my chest to my knee or my thigh. That isn't really helping. So I'm just trying to come out and increase the crease in the front of my hip. And I should feel that kind of somewhere on the back side, on the outside of my hip. If I'm feeling that here on the front side, that's called the closing side of the joint. If I'm getting a pinch or a pain, that suggests that for some reason I'm getting an impingement. Something's getting pinched, and we don't want to keep trying to force that. That's not the stretch we're going for. So if you feel that, this is an exercise that you should leave out. The second part of the 90-90 stretch, we stay in the exact same position. Our hands can come behind us. And now I'm just trying to take this shoulder towards that ankle bone. So we're doing almost a little side bend, but really too, it's taking us into hip internal rotation on this back leg. So this one, you just kind of feel it deep in there. It's not kind of a typical stretch feeling, but you'll feel some tension or some stretching in there. Neither of these should be painful. If they are, then just either ease off a little bit, it means you're being a little bit too aggressive with it, or just leave it out altogether. But we'll do 30 seconds coming forward, 30 seconds coming back for the internal rotation, and then you can just switch, flip your position and roll like that, and then do 30 seconds forward here and 30 seconds internal rotation the other leg. Here's another mobility exercise for our hips. So we're going to get in this half groin position. So my one knee's down, my other leg's straight, and I have enough stretch that I feel a gentle stretch on the inside of my thigh. And then I'm just going to rock back and I'll feel that stretch. Just change position or even get a little bit deeper as I rock back, and then I'll come forward again. So rock back, hold for about 3 seconds in this rock back position, come out, rock back in again, hold for 3 seconds. So we're trying to put a slightly different types of tension on those adductor muscles, because if we always just stretch in one position, our body gets to kind of accommodate to that position. But what about when we're on the ice and we're not in that exact position? So we want to get different angles in there. And notice too, I'm keeping my back nice and neutral. I'm not rounding it over, and I'm not jamming myself back as far as I can. I'm just rocking back till I feel a nice gentle stretch. I'm gonna do 10 of those with a 3-second hold in the rock back position on each side. The next essential exercise is lateral lunge to balance. So you can hold dumbbells here, you could hold 2 dumbbells at your sides. I kind of like sometimes just holding a single dumbbell in a goblet position, but you're going to do a lunge lateral. So when I'm out at the side, my shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle are stacked. Don't get wide out here. We're not trying to stretch your groin. That's not the purpose of it. We're trying to work on teaching you to push off hard off this leg, but then also find balance. So stabilize on this leg. So, you know, think of getting a good push across the crease. That's what we're trying to do. So we want to come out, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle stacked, push up hard, find your balance. Balance for about 2 seconds. Come back up. Drive up hard, pause at the top. You're gonna do 2 to 3 sets of 8 repetitions on each side, and the tempo is 1-1-X2. So that means I'm gonna come down for a count of 1. Pretty quick, but not like without control. I'm gonna pause at the bottom for a count of 1. I'm gonna drive up hard, and then I'm gonna balance at the top for a count of 2. 8 on each side. So far I've given you a couple mobility drills and a lateral power exercise, lateral strength and power exercise, so that your hips are going to feel looser when you're on the ice. They're going to feel a little more freer. You're going to be able to move the way you want to move, and you'll have a little more post-to-post speed. I'm interested to know what part of your on-ice performance needs the most work. So is it getting into and out of the RVH? Is it recovering from your butterfly? Is it getting back to the post if you're out at the top of the crease? Is it moving from your butterfly? Is it injury prevention? Drop a comment below to let me know what you think is your biggest hurdle, or the biggest, where you can get the most benefit. And that helps me get ideas of, you know, other videos I can make that are going to really help you specifically. If you're looking for a start to finish beer league goalie workout, then check out this video where I take you through step by step exactly what to do. Now let's get back to the rest of the exercises. The first exercise is going to be a knee down, lateral bound and stick. So we want to build some strength and power from this sort of half butterfly position to help you get out of your butterfly or to help you move from your butterfly. And then we're going to decelerate here to again work on that dynamic stability in the other hip. So deceleration is really just as important as acceleration. So we're going to start here. We're not going to do a big counter movement. We're not going to rotate away from where we're going. We're going to think even about, oh, if I have my, you know, my glove and my blocker on, my hands want to lead the way. And we're going to push out, and then we're going to fight and find that balance and hold it for about 2 seconds. And then you'll just set that knee down. This isn't a agility exercise. We're not trying to go as fast as we can. We're not trying to smash into our butterfly. We're just trying to get this pattern working. Stick it and then set back down. You're going to do 4 each way. This one really is a game changer, and even when I work with goalies that play at a very high level, it's something they've never really thought to work on before, and it makes a huge difference. So we're just going to do single knee balance. So I'm in this half kneeling position, and all I'm going to do is pick up that front foot and try to stay nice and tall and balanced. And ideally I'll keep my hands sort of on my hips. I don't want to teach my body to, to use my arms to stabilize. I want my hip to have to sort of figure that out, my hip and my torso. So ideally we'd like to keep our hands nice and close. And if you're really losing your balance, just tap your foot down again, reset. Think about being tall in your torso, not sitting back in your hips. You can think about lightly bracing with your abdominals, lightly squeezing this glute to help you find that balance point. And you are going to do 45 seconds on each leg for 1 to 2 sets. For the last one, we're going to use a little MiniBand, and we're going to bring that on just above our knees. And we're going to do a standing MiniBand external rotation. So we're going to stand with our feet hip width apart, our knees are slightly bent, and we're going to let that knee fall in, and then we're going to bring it back out again. So we're using these muscles on the outside of your hip. This knee stays pointing straight ahead throughout. This knee rotates in and out. And actually that's hip rotation. So we're internally rotating, externally rotating, internally rotating, externally rotating. We're just going to follow a smooth tempo like that. 2 0 2 0. So 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2, and you're going to do 12 on each side. Squatting lower doesn't help. It's just getting that little soft knee bend and then going through the hip rotation.
That's it.
We're not going to do a big counter movement. We're not going to rotate away from where we're going. We're going to think even about, oh, if I have my, my glove and my blocker on, my hands want to lead the way, and we're going to push out, and then we're going to fight and find that balance and hold it for about 2 seconds, and then you'll just set that knee down. This isn't a agility exercise. We're not trying to go as fast as we can. We're not trying to smash it, just trying to get this pattern working. When I work with goalies that play at a very high level, it's something they've never really thought to work on before, and it makes a huge difference. So we're just going to do single knee balance. So I'm in this half kneeling position, and all I'm going to do is pick up that front foot and try to teach my body to, to use my arms to stabilize. I want my hip to have to sort of figure that out, my hip and my torso. So ideally we'd like to keep our hands. So if you're really losing your balance, just tap your foot down again, reset. Think about being tall in your torso, not sitting back, lightly bracing with your abdominals, lightly squeezing this glute to help